You know what they never tell you? Storage systems are hard to build. They're convoluted. And most of all, they are the most satisfying project to finish in Minecraft, I think. And when you do finish them, you do sometimes have a sigh of relief, you know. Unfortunately, I am not able to, you know, sigh relief. You know, I can't do that right now. The reason is that though I've been doing a lot of work around here, and I mean a lot of work, the real truth is the storage system has made great progress, but unfortunately we still got ways to go for that. But if you've been paying attention, and you've been paying attention to this series really, you may notice at the moment that there's been a lot of work done around here. So we're going to run through everything really quickly. In fact, let me show you everything that we've done with the storage system so far, and then I'm going to run through everything I've been with you outside here. So here's I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to put a montage right here. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that. The reason why I wanted to get that out of the way is because mostly what you've just seen now was basically just more of like the mechanics of the storage system. So I've done a lot more work since then as well, so I'm going to show you all of that in a second. But just going through what we've done outside over here, I think the main bit of work that I'm probably most proud of is this area over here. So what you might notice is that this little mountainside, well, before it used to come up to about over here, a lot of this was not water, which you can kind of see my shabby landscaping work so far. I am working on doing, you know, a little bit more work around here. I've got a project for this little section over here anyway. But yeah, what I've done is I've pushed half of this mountainside kind of back, I would say. And I've done some terraforming just to bring it all back around now. Now, you can obviously tell this is a noob terraforming situation over here because it's not the neatest thing. My focus on this right now was really just to get it good enough looking, because I do have probably some more long-term plans for this kind of area, so there wasn't too much point in me getting too deep into it. So I thought, let me just get the general shape kind of sorted, and then I think from there I would have decided what I want to do. But the main reason to push it back was just to get this big empty space over here. Now I do have a really good plan for it. It might be quite a long project, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to be doing it all in maybe in one episode. I don't know, maybe something like splitting it over like a 3-part episode where I'm going to do something around here. The thing you might notice over the time you're going to be watching my series is that the bigger the builds get, the more time they're probably going to take up. So doing like an episode a week per project wouldn't really be viable, right? So I'm going to plan on doing this as my first like maybe 2-part episode, and obviously I'm going to put through a bunch more content in between all of that as well. I've got so many like little plans I want to throw in like here and there. It's all going to work out really well. The other thing that I did during a live stream was actually get rid of all of the junk around the island. Now, again, if you were keen-eyed before, you might have saw a bunch of chests that were piled up here. Maybe like 10 or 15 of them. No, that's a lie. There was about, yeah, actually, you know what? About 10 of them. There was about 10 of them. There was a bunch of them over here. You can still see some left over there as well. I just kind of left those alone for now because they actually have more useful stuff, and they're going to go in a different part of the storage system inside, and that part's not ready just yet. In fact, that's the part we're going to probably be working on throughout the rest of the episode. But yeah, I cleaned up all of that area over there. I done a little bit of cleaning over here. There was some stuff to clear up over here as well. And now actually one of the things I'm going to want to do is get rid of all of this stone that I've ended up leaving exposed and replace that back with mycelium. And that shouldn't be too much of an effort actually, that should be pretty straightforward. And then in addition to that, there was a couple boxes around here that I got rid of. And actually something really exciting that I'm going to look forward to start doing in the very near future is revamping the iron farm, because in actual fact the running of it is perfectly fine. The issue with it at the moment is that it looks it doesn't look great. And the main reason for that is obviously the entire thing is made out of cobblestone. And the reason it's made out of cobble... Oh, and can't forget the good old beautiful netherrack there as well. But yeah, the reason why I ended up using this in the beginning was because I was quite resource poor, and I felt like that was the best one to use. And now that I've got all the resources my heart desires, well, mostly at least, now I can start working on making this thing look better. And actually I want to really I'm looking forward to the redstone on this, because I'm looking forward to what I'm going to do with the iron ingots, what I'm going to do with the flowers, with the composting, and getting it into a storage for bone meal. And then maybe there's a couple more things I have planned for it yet, but I'm not going to get into that just yet because we've still got a lot more to cover around here. The main being the internals of here. So without further ado, let's get on the inside of the storage area. I'm going to run through all of that with you as well. Speaking of storage area, I shouldn't have left these out here. This is proof of laziness over here. This is empty, by the way, so I can actually go ahead and get rid of that. This has a whole bunch of cobblestone and for some reason water buckets, and these are just full of sticks. Now I did end up destroying the little smelter thing that I made last time, which you probably remember over there somewhere, part of the land that doesn't exist anymore. And I didn't end up moving them. I just put them over here because I needed to do the landscaping, and then I completely forgot, and then I got lazy. And well, actually we're going to go inside now, and they're going to be housed in their new area in here anyway. Let's have a little look inside. Okay, so this is what we've done, guys. Now ignore the big floor of shulker boxes there. Actually, to be fair, that actually is a lot neater than it was about 10 minutes ago. They were all completely randomly scattered on the floor over here, and it didn't look very good at all. So let's move over to the side that is done and doesn't have shulkers covering it all up. And this is what I've come up with, guys. I'm pretty happy with what I've done so far. The main reason being actually is because I've used quite a lot of materials to I'm not usually one to, you know, mess around with too many materials. I find that it doesn't look very good, and sometimes it gets a little bit messy. For me, it's not usually the case, but I feel like using like stuff like cyan terracotta, grey, light grey, obviously keeping in theme with my lime, keeping in theme with the quartz and stuff like that as well. All of it fits pretty well from what I can see. I really like these internal lightings over here. And actually, if you see that this shulker box looks quite lit up, the reason for that is because right underneath here is a hopper that comes into these shulker boxes, and you've got some glowstone under each one of these. Now, kind of give you a breakdown of my thought process between why I went for this kind of storage system at all. Well, first of all, you can see that these are... How many units have I got here? This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 on each side, and I'll be honest with you, they're both replicated. So everything you have in that side, we have on this side too. The reason being for that is because this is actually just going to be our bulk storage. This is going to be like the stones, mycelium, dirt, basically all the stuff that you get around my island. And probably stuff that I end up using a lot of anyway. So in this... okay, this is the side that has the stuff that I've already loaded. So let me go to that side there. Right, so what you see here is basically all the items that filter through here. They are going to end up being initially stored in these shulker boxes. The reason for that is that gives me it's like a two-form reason. So reason number one was to have the nice easy access on the floor. I felt like it was a little bit nicer just coming in, and sometimes when you're just walking in, you can just be like, yep, just grab some of these. It just seemed like a lot easier access. But the second reason being, I can just take a whole shulker box, go and use it on whatever I want, and I can just pop these back here again when I'm done. In fact, what I might do is have a little dispenser somewhere around here. Maybe have a dispenser one here and have another dispenser there. So what happens is that once I take one of these out, if I think, oh yeah, I'm going to need one of these, I might as well just, I'll maybe have a pressure plate that pops a fresh one of these out, and I can just put it straight back in here. That makes moving of like bulk storage items really easy. And in fact, because I've doubled up, I'm always going to have at least 2 shulker boxes. Well, obviously considering I have enough items, I'll always have 2 shulker boxes of stuff, so it should be nice and easy to have like a good amount of them to go. And then realistically speaking, worst comes to worst, I can always just get them up from the top here as well. That's where most of the bulk storage is going to remain. The other thing that I ended up doing, this was something I actually done throughout the week. It didn't take too long. It was like maybe like an hour live stream that I did it in. Now it doesn't seem like an hour's worth of work, but when you consider I put a lot of thought into how it was going to look, unfortunately still didn't get where I wanted to because I've got the observer showing and I don't want the observer showing necessarily. But here we are. We've done it anyway. And yeah, let me show you what it is. So you can see that's now turned the magma block into a soul sand, where it didn't actually turn it into anything, just pushed it into place. And that now allows me to use this as an upwards elevator. And this takes us to our new map room, by the way, in case you guys are paying attention. This map room was obviously outside maybe last episode. I was planning on moving it. In fact, I did move it, but I didn't actually put it in the right place. Maybe I put it here. Did I put it here? I don't know. But anyway, here it is. Nicely accessible through the elevator over here. Now, I'm going to be... I'm probably going to be doing some more stuff in this room anyway. I'm probably going to be utilising some of this space over here. For what? I'm not 100% sure. The current idea is to have a shulker box crafting system over here, and then have like my enchanting stuff over here. So if you've never seen a shulker box crafting system before, it's not the easiest to explain. But essentially, if you know a little bit about redstone and stuff and how shulker boxes work and whatever, you'll have an input where you can put all your shulker boxes of items. Let's say, for example, you want to do slime balls. So let's just say that was a shulker box crafting system, and imagine all of these were in here. I'd put like maybe... Ideally, you want to be working with like higher numbers, so like you want like 10 shulker boxes of slime balls. And then you want to craft them all nice and easy. So let's say you've got 10 shulkers of slime balls. You put them into an output which will start dispensing these, so you can like take them in and out. Then you take out all the slime balls as if I've done here, and then you would craft them. You would have like a crafting table over here, and then you craft all these up, and then there's another shulker box over here where you can put all the slime blocks into. Once this is empty of slime balls, that will be broken and the next one gets put out or dispensed. And then you can carry on filling this shulker box, you know, example shulker box obviously. You can fill that with the slime blocks until that's completely full with slime blocks, and then that will break. And then you're just basically crafting in and out of shulker boxes and having them packed away nice and easy. It's almost like it's like industrial packaging, if you will. It's really cool, and I'm really looking forward to making it, because when you're making rockets and stuff, this is where it becomes really useful. And I have actually updated the map. I can't remember whether I did showed you guys last time, but here it is. So the only difference is really at the moment, as you can see from the two maps, is the storage area and the second honey farm over here. I don't think there's much else that changed. Oh yeah, and the wood farm with the casing, which wasn't there before, but that's been changed too. And there you go. You can hit that little note block up there, and that turns us back into a magma block. And then it's easy to walk out. So now what you see these with these slime blocks over here, these are placeholders for where I'm going to be putting the shulker box storage. So you're going to see a little glimpse of that in a minute. If you've been a part of my channel for a little while, I made a tutorial on my shulker box storage, which is probably one of my favorite redstone inventions. So go and check it out on my channel if you wanna have some of that go into. It's really good for like mid or late game, as long as you've got enough shulker boxes, which you don't need many of. You can actually run like 2 to 18, I think it is, per unit. So I'm gonna have 10 maybe over here, and then I'm probably thinking about what I'm gonna put over here as well. I'm wondering whether I'm gonna bother putting any over here because they do come out quite a bit. It's kind of sacrificing all the space down the middle of them at the moment. So I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to do some planning and work some stuff out, and then we'll be back with maybe building a couple of them at least, just to see how it goes. Hey guys, if you are watching for the first time or you have been before, please do leave a like and subscribe. It really does help my channel out, and I really do want to bring you guys quality content. I'm going to bring you content whether there's one person watching or you know, 100,000 people watching. That was the biggest number I could think of in my head for YouTube, so yeah, that shows how ambitious I am. Alright guys, I've put it off long enough now, and I think it's finally time. So let's get on with the storage area. You know, it's just one of those things, right, where you're like, this is going to be long. Because really the issue at the moment isn't necessarily building the units. The main issue at the moment is size. So I'm either going to have to reduce the number of loaders or storage system filter thingies, or think where else I'm going to put it, because I'm thinking taking it up isn't ideal, because it kind of gets rid of the idea of what I was essentially supposed to be doing. So I don't know, I'm just going to put a few in and hope it looks okay, and hope it doesn't take up too much space. If it doesn't, okay, I'll rip it out. I'll see how it goes. Alright, let's do this. Alright, so I built one of them just to start off with. I needed to remind myself how I built these. If you've built any sort of redstone contraption before, you'll know that no matter, even if you're the inventor of it, if you don't use it long enough, you forget how it works. But I remember most of it now, actually. And so yeah, I've done one of them already. And actually, I want to walk you through the next one. I'm going to give you like a quick tutorial on this. Now, I did say I had it on my channel already, but considering we're here, might as well show you how it works, right? And actually, this is facing the wrong way, I think. Let's just swap them out for now. Okay, so this is all we need to do. I'm going to put a couple boxes in here. God, this is so much random crap. Anything that matches? Okay, let's put sticks in. These two are sticks. So here's what happens. I'll get a shulker box. I'm gonna chuck it into the hopper. That's gonna put it right out in front of us to, you know, grab some stuff from. And then obviously I'm gonna put the other one in there as well first, actually, so you can see. Right, now that's taken it into the system too. And now I can hit this button and swap between them. Very cool stuff. Unfortunately, non-tileable. Every now and then, if you hit it fast enough, or sometimes not even if you, like, you don't need to hit it fast enough at all, it still has the same problem, which is the shulker box just flies off left or right. Now, it's very rare that happens. Let me see if I can get it to do it now. See, it kind of flung off there. Now, if there was another hopper here, I think the other hopper would have probably picked it up. So we're going to put these one apart. And, yeah, oh, the other thing you can do is, let's say there's you know, let's say it's not just one type of item. Let's just say it's one subject, like redstone. So you wanted to have, like a shulker box of hoppers, some of powered rails, and then another box of whatever. Let's say you choose, yeah, you know what, I want to get, hold on. How did I mess that up? Alright, cool, this is a good way to demonstrate anyway, because this isn't supposed to be in here. So, now let's say I want this entire shulker box. Just comes down on the plate, hit the button, and now have it in my inventory. Now I can just go away with it, and then if I'm ever done with it again, I can either place it back in the hopper like this, or I can just throw it in. Whatever works for you. So, let me give you a quick block by block, because it's pretty straightforward, as you can see. So what I'm going to start off by doing is actually removing maybe the entirety of the floor. So let me just start by removing all of this first of all. Alright, so the first thing you're going to notice is it's quite tall, and actually the first 2 layers, yeah, 1, 2, they're not needed to be above ground. In fact, the pressure plate needs to be where you want to be standing anyway. So you can dig this down, and then you start off by putting a block and a sticky piston, and then on top of it, oh god, there's a restriction. Okay, somehow managed to get that. So yeah, all you want to do is put observers facing towards the where you're going to be standing on top of the sticky piston here. Secondly, put some comparators in front of them. Okay, and then get your droppers out. You're going to need 2 droppers per module, and then just line them up against the comparators just over here. Put the second one on top, and then on top of that, droppers, on top of the droppers, dispensers for each. Second thing you want to do is just get a temporary block to put on top of these guys, observer facing into all of those. That's going to cause the clock to run to make sure the bottom dropper is always empty. So just remember, the key takeaway is you have 8 here, sorry, you have 9 here, and you have 9 here. So you have 18 altogether, and you must never occupy this as storage. Only these ones and the dispensers as storage. So as you see, I just put the hoppers into the very bottom dropper, and then just place a block in front of all of them. So just put a pressure plate on top of all the blocks over here, and then we're not too far from being done. I think the next part is probably the most complicated. Come up 1, 2, 3, and 4 blocks. Oops. So 4 blocks up from the dispenser, and then just place one of these, and I would come down, go like that, and then one of these, like that, piston right in front of it, and then you want that you want that to be in front of it, and then you're going to get the observer facing into that. Finally, you wanted to put in the redstone dusts. That's the last step on this. Now these should all be working, so if you hit that, they should all rock and roll. In fact, I'm gonna throw this in here just so you can see, and that'll bring that down. And then obviously there's only one in the system, it will come back again, but when it only has one, it'll just cycle through like that, so it'll take a second. The one thing to note as well is that this is a random system, quote unquote. Obviously you're not choosing which one gets dispensed, and there's no order to the way the dispensers actually shoot them out. So if you want a box that's populated in one of the more busier droppers, just hit it a little bit faster. That should keep the system going to where you're getting pretty much everything cycle through at some point. Okay, so that's these ones done here. I'm going to copy this over here. I'm also going to think of some sort of maybe encasing of some sort. So let me get started on doing these, and then we'll be back. Alright guys, so in building this, so I ended up getting, you know, both the units done. I started decorating around it, and I thought, you know what, this is going to look really awesome, but they're too big. They don't look right here. And to be honest with you, I'm going to need more than these anyway. I'm going to need at least twice as many. So I'm taking this underground. That's right. I'm going to take these underground, so I don't really have a plan for it right now. So what I'm going to do instead is you're going to see me figuring everything out. I'm just going to carry on recording, and you guys can see what I do with it. The general plan at the moment is probably going to be that I'm going to go down maybe about that much, like somewhere around here basically. I may even move this forward one more. Yeah, something like that. And then I'm going to go straight down from here, and I'm going to make the storage unit for these areas. Sorry, the storage units for these underground. I haven't really figured it out yet. I'm going to go get my beacon. I'm going to clear out some of the area underneath, and then I'll be back for you to watch what happens. Alright guys, so this is like maybe 2 days later now. I've ended up spending a lot of time. The plan changed so many times throughout this period, and not realizing the space that I really required for these things kind of made things a lot more confusing. What has ended up happening now though is I've found a position for it. I'm kind of figuring out the little bits that I need to go through, and this is kind of where I got so far. So I wanted to actually end the episode here because it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would, so this is kind of a couple days late as it is. The main reason being is because I thought I would have the system originally up here somewhere, but that ended up not being the case. And the reason that didn't end up being the case was because honestly space up here was just not as convenient. I didn't really think about the spacing for things when I was making the original building, and I should have originally actually ended up just putting everything in there and maybe putting the bulk storage underneath, but that didn't really work out how I wanted it to. And in fact, I think it kind of works out better this way because the theme of how these chests sit out over here looks a lot better maybe in this area, and the way that I've kind of got an idea for what's going to happen over here now, it seems to probably fit better down here anyway. So again guys, look, I'm going to end the episode there. I do appreciate you watching. If you were regularly viewing and you were wondering where the episode was, I do apologise again. I did have to change plans quite a few times. But if you did like, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.